Alright, so I start the stream. Hello everyone and welcome to this episode of Z.I.P Talks. Today we are with team Pretty Smart Robotics to talk about judging and presentational skills. Hi, my name is Mohil and I'm part of the outreach team on team Z.I.P Ties.
My name. Sorry. Okay. My name is Hannah, and I do programming and the notebook on Team Z.I.P Ties.
My name is Tess. I do mostly the social media and outreach, and I'm also the backup driver.
Hi, I'm Luz and I do the sponsoring.
Alrighty, so my first question is, obviously since you guys are in Europe and we're in America, how does your team prepare for judging and what are certain things that your team does?
We mostly prepare. We come together and we talk about what do we want to say and what do we want to look like in front of the judges. How do we want to present ourselves? Like, how do we want to stay there? What are we going to say and how are we going to say it?
Which impression are we leaving to the judges? That's the important thing we think about. So sometimes we practice for our coach, that he's the judge. So if we leave a good impression on him, then maybe it's also on the judge a good impression.
Yeah, definitely. Like our team, whenever we're practicing for judging, especially at our league championship and our state competition, we practice in front of a panel of first alumni as well as past judges. That way, we get the best experience, simulating how the competition really will be for us. And like in that manner, when it comes to competition day, we know that we had the best chances at improvement that we had. So like at at your competition, what are some of the things that they do for judging, or is it just a standard? You have your 5 minute interview, and then you have pit interviews.
Yeah, we have interviews for like outreach and the robot and for everything, and we have judges itself, and then we have 5 minutes to talk. I think that's usual, and we have 5 minutes to pitch, and then the judges ask questions, and we try to answer it how the judges like, so with a good impression.
Yeah, like that. She told it.
Yeah, like I feel like in the 5 minutes that you have, what you're trying to tell the judges is what is or the best, not just the best things about your team, but overall your team's outreach, your team's robot,
Yeah.
Everything about it.
Something we definitely do in a conversation with the judge is tell what we are proud of, what we
For ourselves.
yeah, for ourselves. So my English and my confidence, and that's something we also tell for the judges. So it's not only the robotic, the sponsoring, media, but also what first of FTC did for us, and that's also what we tell about.
And what our personally goals are and how we develop ourselves. That's something we try to tell.
Yeah, for us especially, we have like 3 rookie members and then 3 senior members. So we always make sure to try to, let the rookies tell their story because it's their first year, right? So like what they had new this year, what they experienced, and their evolution. Yeah, that's such an important part.
Yeah, we don't have any rookies on our team. Oh, my camera just shut up. We don't have any rookies on our team, so that's we had Lars. This was his first season, and he was really nervous for the judging. So we all tried to tell him from this is coming, and if you do your best, that's all you can do, and they see that you're doing your best. And at the end of the judges, he was really proud of himself, and that was so so beautiful for us to see as a team. He had such much fun.
The thing with Lars is he was scared to ask questions, and I feel that I had that too. But he didn't. He did. He don't want to ask us. And now, a season later, if you are lost him, you will have to look with other guys because that guy ran. He was loose. He was gone.
All the other teams around, and he's he developed himself so much this season.
Yeah, I
It's
mean,
funny to see, nice to see.
yeah, like I would say with our three rookies, especially at the beginning of the season, they were really quiet. But as we got closer to league championships, as we went to more outreach events with them, they were able to speak up and convey what first meant to them and what we were really doing at those events. So that way, like when it came to our whole team participating in the judging event, they were as fluent as like the team members that have been on our team for like 2 to 3 years, and that way, the judges are like, wow. So,
Hmm?
like in that way, does your whole team participate in the judging, or do you only have a couple members?
No, our whole team, we are only five. So we are a really small team. Everyone has multiple things they need to do, but we are all participate in the judges. Also, if we are a little nervous or anxious, we help each other and we try to talk to each other from it's okay and you do your best and more than that you can do. So
That's what I had in Kaiserslautern. I was homesick
Mm.
the whole weekend, and that has impact on my judging because when I'm homesick, I uh, have stomach pain, and it's not nice to tell them. And then I have her and the rest of the team that says you can do it, go for it, and it's just only 5 minutes. That and after that I slept for 2 hours, and I can go for the day. That's nice. We support each other. We are from different schools, just like you, and so we are just friends, and that's what help. That helps because then we can help each other. We can bond.
yeah.
So if I'm sad or she's sad, we talk not only about FTC but just as friends.
Yeah, like just being able to help one another, especially just like overcoming your fears or
Yeah.
whatever problems you have. That's the beauty of the whole program. It just shows you how others empower one another and how you can build it yourselves. And I would say like that's probably one of the most important things about having your whole team participate in judging. It's that one member can just oh, I'm struggling on this one part, and another member in that aspect can just jump right in and just continue the conversation. So in that way, you know they just continue the conversation.
Yeah, our team, like, it's very beautiful in our team because in the Netherlands you have different niveaus. And what me and Herbert, yeah, we are like low, and the others in the whole Netherlands competition are literally the highest. So nobody expects it from us, but our whole team, we help each other with homework and with like our whole lives. We know each other and we are like a really close team, and we like to do things together, not only for first but go to events and events, yeah, that not first includes.
Yeah, like I mean, it's from what I understand, it's like sort of like the outreach events you do. They're not just the ones that are related to first, the non-first ones also help you prepare. So in that way, it just like when it comes time for judging, it makes everything so much easier. It makes everything a lot more efficient. So in that way, does your team have a certain judging strategy to prepare for like judged events? Uh,
What we mostly do is the night before, we are gonna sit around the table and we are all gonna discuss what do you want to tell, what do you want to tell, and
Piece to piece, not all at the same time.
and then in our heads we try to prepare our own, um, yeah, our own.
Story.
Yes, that.
So I have my story about sponsoring. She does it about media. So one for one, our coach says, "What do you want to tell?" You get some points. For me, it's the head sponsor. Uh, for her, is it media or events? And for Sander, it's the robot. How that one is built, and then we only say the points because we are with five. We all has a minute to tell. So if you just first do the points, what you want to tell, what you want to really want to tell, and then one for one, another round, you go tell a story, and then one is timing. how long you are busy to tell, and then after everyone is done, another round, and then all together, and then also with how do you say that? Introducing yourself. That in the 5 minutes.
Oh, okay. For us, what we do is we kind of structure our minutes by different parts of FTC. So we'll have like outreach as a section, we'll have like robot as a section, and then we'll make sure to include like members in each part. So we'll have like some who are more focused on outreach in the outreach section, for example, and whatnot. We try to make sure that each section has a rookie member who is super passionate and super strong in one area. So that
I have
way,
one question.
yeah,
With how many members are you?
we are 12.
Oh my god.
With
So
how
it's a
many
bigger
people
team.
do you judging then?
Sorry, can you repeat that?
With how many people are you doing the judging session?
We bring our whole
All 12?
team.
That's very
So, how many members do you guys have on your team for the judging?
5. We only with 5.
Oh wow.
We
Yeah.
do everything with these 5.
yeah,
so
literally
it's
out.
like so it's a minute for each of you, is what I'm hearing.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
So I tell part about and outreach, and she tell her about sponsoring, and we all have 1 minute to tell about what we are passionate in.
Yeah, like I think with our team, since there's 12 members, we don't
Yeah.
just like have one member only talking one aspect, but they also talk in another, right? So that way the judges can see how we're a very dynamic team. And like, does your team also have that opportunity in like pit interviews? Like you guys like bounce off one another. Like let's just say you say one thing and then Edith follows it with another thing about the same aspect, or do you guys just talk about your own thing?
Um it has a connection with everything, because I do sponsoring, but I'm not only in the team for sponsoring. If they need help on the robot, I help on the robot. If she needs help, I help her. So
We have other a lot.
we can all talk. Take the robot as example. We can all talk about the robot, but the guys can talk more about it. It's that we can all talk about media. We can all talk about sponsoring, but we have people that are very interested in that uh, specific thing. So we plan it out, who says it, but we can all tell about everything. We discuss everything with all people. We tell everybody what we did.
So like
Everybody.
is gonna sit next to me, so he's gonna join also, if that's okay.
Yep.
So I have one question for you guys. How is it to participate in the Worlds? Do you know that? Is it like difficult or?
So, from what I know is, because we're from Florida, Florida does virtual judging and has the in-person like robot games and pit interviews. So, uh, so some of the things that are at Houston is instead of virtual judging, it's in-person judging. So it's like the 5 minute conversation that your team was talking about. That's gonna be with the judges, and that's just the 5 minutes with them. After that, there's gonna be 5 minute Q&A session with them, and that's what's gonna happen for one day. And then
Yeah.
over the next I think 2 or 3 days that we have left in Houston, the judges might come back and they'll talk to us in the pits about certain things that they might have seen in your portfolio or in your judging. So,
And do they also talk about things that they want to know about your team, or is it really things they don't see in your notebook?
I do not know honestly, because it's just what the judges think. They might for a certain award they might think, oh, we saw this, so but
Yeah.
it varies, but I don't know if
So
judges target those.
what I hear is different per judge. Some judges want to know about your team, and some judges only want to know about the things that you're like in first and doing first. If I'm correctly.
Yeah, I do not know if that's true or not, so don't take my word for it. But it just we honestly don't know what judges will ask until they ask us it. But yeah, like in the Netherlands, do they have it that in that format? Like,
They and the judges that we went through, they all want to know one thing about you and really things about your team. Not only based on a notebook and not only based on what you're telling, but they just they show interest. They want to know what I'm going to study next year. They want to know what he's going to do for a job. So they also want to know personal information.
And also
Not
how
I
only
also believe, I also believe that when you are when you are a contestant for an award, and when the judges take an interest for you, they are specifically are going to ask you for those questions. So we had that multiple times for specific awards like the Connect and also the Design Award. Then especially they ask those things.
yeah, I think that's how it works. Like, there's gonna be judges that will ask you about connect, motivate. Some judges will ask you for design and stuff. So I think that's how they're gonna ask it at Worlds. But it's just gonna be really interesting to see how it works.
yeah, for us it's
I'm
gonna
really happy to go.
Yeah.
at World, but we are going to Worlds with only 4 members because one unfortunately couldn't go. So we have really, yeah, not, but we have to look how we are gonna do it.
I think you cut in and out a bit, so I wasn't able to hear what you said.
It's like we are going to Worlds with 4 members,
Oh,
so we are gonna have to look how we do all of the whole Worlds with only 4 members. But I think we figure it out.
yeah, like yeah. I know that you guys are short one members, so if there's any way that our team can help, especially with transportation, or anything that you guys need, just let us know. You have our Instagram, so just DM us if you guys need anything. We would be
That's
really
all.
happy to help. Um,
Very
but
nice thing.
That's sweet.
yeah, and like I know Worlds. This is our team's first time ever going to Worlds, which is a pretty exciting thing. It's the World Championship. So, what is probably the most excited thing or what's the thing you guys are most excited about for Worlds?
I think just to go. We are going with a lot of fun and we are going to learn more experience and develop ourselves more. So,
One thing I really like, Tess and I, we first did FLL, and then we also we cannot go in Corona, so we also deserve it that we are going. So that's with that in the back of your head, it's really nice to just go and finally, after 3 years, go to America
go to
and
the
just be there. You know,
It's also, at least for me, it's the first time in America, so that's also just an experience in itself.
I
But just
just want to say
at World, learning from other teams, I've seen a lot of amazing robots this year, and I want to learn specific mechanisms of teams, and it's just a great experience, I think.
I'm only 15 and I'm going alone with one team to America, to Houston.
it's a really nice experience for us and also there are in total if I'm right 4 teams from the whole Netherlands that go to America.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's really in our country first is not really known. So we try to bring out first more to our community, but it's really hard because in the whole Netherlands, I think we have under the 100 teams. So
And
that's
we only have two in the top of the Netherlands. The rest are all down below. So if we want to go there, we also have to drive 3 hours for one day.
for one league meet.
Wow.
Yeah, so in the north of the Netherlands, like FTC is totally not a big thing.
No.
Almost no one knows it, and that's why it's a great opportunity for us to spread it. Because well, in the South Netherlands, well, even though there are less than 100 teams, like 60 or so, it's still in the lower part of the Netherlands, it's still a thing. You know, most schools do have a team, while in the north of the Netherlands, they're probably well, we're a club, and there's one school club,
Yeah,
and that's it basically. Well, there's one other team, and so that would make three, but that's not a lot.
I'm
Yeah,
glad you guys are able to, you know, be involved in first in an area that doesn't have as much. It's just so nice to hear. Is there
Sometimes it's weird, but
any
sometimes it's nice.
Mhm. Is there anything you guys like do to reach out and spread first around north of Netherlands or?
are trying
Uh,
media as much as possible
yes.
because we want everyone to know about first. Because the first community is such a great community. There is always fun and it's so nice with other teams and to connect. And yeah, the first,
And we also do events. Look,
yeah,
events down in the Netherlands that, yes, it's nice, it's fun, but it cannot get members for us. So if there was once event within our town, where she lives, and that was really nice because then there are people from the neighborhood, and if they want to come to join us, it's only uh, 15 minutes to drive, and if we are down below in the Netherlands, it's just not necessary because they have to drive 2 hours for 2 hours of training, so that's not necessary. So we
but
try to do it in the top of the Netherlands as much as we can.
for the
Yeah,
current where we
so
are,
we're trying to host a league meet next season in our area, and we're also doing open houses.
but for the current location where we are now, I drive 40 minutes only to get here, and I'm here like 2 hours. So 40 minutes, yeah, and back. So it's
Yeah.
really close for me, but I drive almost every Friday.
yeah,
Do you
like
like have about the Netherlands itself? Some things that you want to know about the Netherlands that we maybe.
Can tell.
I would really want to ask is like I know especially in Florida the way that we have our competitions is we have our 4 to 5 league meets, then we have our league championship, and then we have states and then worlds. How does the championship or the competitions work in the Netherlands?
We have like we have to go to 2 league meets and
Yeah.
are in the top 27, I guess.
28.
8. Then you can go to the Benelux Championship, Open Benelux, because it's more like teams from all of Europe are coming to the Netherlands for this competition. And if you win the Inspire or the winning a robot, you can go to America. There's for for
Yeah, so there are only two tickets, and there we won the Motivate Award, and then we also went to. There's always every year there's also an event in Kaiserslautern.
Germany.
That's at the American Army base,
Yeah.
and there are also two tickets.
Oh,
And
And
we
they're
won.
here.
yeah.
So that's the invitational. The invitational.
Yeah, you have
Yeah.
to get
Yeah,
to
If
go
I
there.
if I tell it to my parents or anyone, I see this free ticket. The Benelux, that's where you really want a ticket to America. And if you are invited to Kaiserslautern, it's a free ticket because it's an experience at itself, because it's an army base. I really like army, so it's an yeah,
it's
event in
kind of a bonus.
Yeah,
Yes, kind of bonus. And if you won, it's really bonus because you can go to America.
Oh wow.
That's really cool.
Yes.
how was your reaction when you won the Inspire Award?
I think very shocked. You know, it was just like because in Florida it's our second time going to the in person competition, and you know we did our best, we prepared, and you know when you hear your number getting called, you know there's like
Yeah,
you're just so happy, just so joyful that you know like you won the Inspire Award at your state competition, and you're gonna go to the Worlds. Is it was really shocking for all of us, especially like the seniors and the rookies on the team. Like you know
yeah,
it's just a different experience, you know, from going to states all the way to the worlds. Like in Florida, there are 56 teams competing at the state championship for the four bids, and now you're
yeah,
going against another 190 teams at Houston, which is like it's like 3 to 4 times the size, which is just
yeah,
insane. So
yeah. When we won the Inspire Award, she cried her eyes out. Like she was so happy and so joyful. It was so beautiful to see. She
I
lit
I
on the
take
ground.
one step, and I fell on the ground. I couldn't
There was
get up.
so much joy in our whole team, and we were so happy because we worked so hard for this. And if we are going to Houston, we like if you go on a direct flight, it's like 10 hours. But we are have to what's overstappen.
Step over.
We have to step over to another flight. So we are like I think 13, 14 hours on the way from the Netherlands to Houston. So it's a big trip.
yeah,
If,
like
if there's anything, like Moho said earlier, if there's anything you guys need, just feel free to reach out to us, and we'd be happy to like let you
That's
know with
we
anything you
everything.
need.
So, what are your expectations for Worlds? Are you expecting something like? Are you trying to win a specific award, or what do you want to achieve there, or just have the experience?
Well,
I think
honestly, just being there, honestly, is an experience in itself. Just like the reality. So you can, I know when I go over there, the reality is gonna hit me like, oh my gosh, I'm at Worlds. I'm around all of these teams and everything. Winning an award would be fantastic, but honestly, if we didn't, just being there.
yeah, it's
I don't
just
know
the
if I can
ability
drive
to have
for it.
fun there.
It's just the same for us.
Yeah, like I would really say like you know it's not going to a world championship is like you made it to the top. Now you're just there to you know have fun, make new connections, and just you know enjoy your week at Houston. So
Like, are you guys go with the car or fly?
sorry, could you say that again?
Are you
I think you were cutting in and out, so I couldn't hear you.
Tegenstander is aan het praten, dus dan horen ze jou niet.
thank you. Like, are you gonna take the car? Are you gonna drive all the way over Houston, or are you gonna take a plane?
Or
So
flying.
I think right now, like the majority of our team will be flying, and then I think we're taking one or two cars to, you know, just transport all our stuff because it's a lot easier. And we've heard, you know, from because you know preparing for Worlds, you know, try and get try and make sure you know the robot doesn't break or important parts don't like you know break. So I think we're taking a couple cars to transport everything. So
Yeah, we have the whole robot into the plane.
oh wow.
Yeah,
And our clothes. And the rest of the stuff.
everything like banners or like our logo. Everything has to go into our suitcases.
Make sure to pad the robot really well.
Yeah.
All bubble plastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're gonna dismantle our robots in different pieces because well, it's too expensive to do it to bring a whole flight case with us. So we're gonna experiment with it how we can do it the most efficient way.
Yeah, like I think right now what we're trying to figure out is how we're gonna transport the majority of our stuff because it's a bit expensive to you know transport everything.
But it's a flight for us for 14 hours. Is it also a flight for you for 14 hours?
I think it's like 2 to 3 hours, but I'm not sure.
I just want to
Um,
say that a lot.
yeah, and like I think the other thing that's like really shocking this year is the fact that like on Tuesday afternoon you have to go for your inspections. So, it's just gonna be like you have to be there on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Do you guys know when you're flying? Like what day?
I think we're flying April 15th.
Yeah,
So
Yes.
we have 1 or 2 days to like, yeah, it's
Sit down,
7 hours.
chill.
yeah, get used to the time
7 hours.
zone.
So
Oh yeah, the time zone. Oh
yeah,
man.
Yeah, but one thing, if we're flying to America, we're flying with the time. If we're flying back, we're flying against the time. So then we have a jet lag.
then we have,
Yeah, for us it's just like a 1 hour difference. Like it's because we're Eastern and they're Central.
yeah.
So where are you guys staying for Houston?
We don't know.
Oh, really?
That's
We
the
don't know if all the parents can come. So my dad is coming, definitely. Um, but we don't know if the rest is can get off work or just go. So
Yeah,
all
we
the kids
haven't
we
booked
know,
anything yet.
no.
it depends.
Yeah, wow. Like I know like
So
it,
if we are doing it, it's last minute.
We really have to book last minute, so we are sure who goes with.
yeah, like I think right now, like I went to Houston a couple years back with my brother, but it just like there's so many teams there that are staying in so many different hotels. Like if you don't
Yeah.
book as soon as possible, you don't know where you're gonna stay. But you know, if you guys need any help with that, I think our team would be available to help you guys with that as well. So just let us know through Instagram. Um,
That's
yeah, I had like
maybe
a
time about some things we can use help with from your team, maybe.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I had a question about your robot during judging. Do you guys use any props for your judging, or do you guys just talk to the judges?
Yeah, so we use a couple of prototypes for well, one of the mechanisms we use is a worm wheel. A worm drive and isn't very used in especially the Dutch championships. So we have it on bigger scale to really resemble it because it's hard to see in our robot. And we also have a couple of iterations of our intake.
Yeah, for us, we have like our biggest thing this year that we wanted to like focus on, right, was our double jointed like claw and how we progressed from being all metal to all 3D printed. So
Oh,
we have like a couple of iterations of that to show to the judges. Before we didn't have we were trying to put a turret in our robot. So before that, we had like that on display. Do you guys have any other things on display besides robot parts? So like anything for outreach or just team in general or
Well, well, that's not on our presentation itself, but we have well, how do we call it? It's just a big board with everything from some outreach reach things to well, there are our props after the judging go over there with our some of our programming things. So, but uh, at the judging session itself, we have our mascot, a couple of props for the robot, but not anything else, I guess.
what's your mascot, by the way? Just curious.
A duck.
A
a
duck?
duck. It's a really big, giant duck.
It's called duct tape.
How
So
was last season then?
when anyone needs duct tape, we'll just give them the
Gift the
duck.
duck and then duct tape.
Yeah, like I would say like going back to what you're saying about the props and stuff, it's really important to have that so you can show judges progression and other things that your team has really developed or want to tell the judges that makes your team different. So, like, I know some teams use their props again, especially with pit judging, or they have different props for that. So does that apply to your team as well?
Yeah. So the props that we use for judging are the same we use for pit judging. Uh, but with the pit, we have our whole board with us that we can take to our presentation.
How do you guys
But it's
oh, sorry.
oh, it's really important. Also in the notebook, but also in the judging session and the pit visit, to really, as you said, to really show those iterations and show where you've grown, where you've developed, and what you've done every step of the way. What went well, what didn't go well, and what has had to be improved. Because that's what it's all about, you know,
To
and that's
literally tell
what you need to
everything.
do.
Yeah, absolutely. How do you guys I know you guys are a team of 5, right? So how do you orient yourself in the camera? Like how do you position everything for getting judged?
We
I
are
think. Ja, ga maar.
we're all standing in a row, and she on the most left side, then me, then Anna Maaike, then Lars, then Sander. So we go introduce yourself the different way. This first Sander, then Lars, and so go back. So she can start the first with her story, and then we go back again. So it goes. Uh,
Yeah.
Okay.
We,
For us, like having 12 of us, right, on a camera is kind of hard. So we try to do a U shape almost. That way we have like we're able to fit everyone in, and then we can also like put props in the middle and stuff.
we can stand in the row, and then we have space on there.
yeah, we have like space everywhere because we are only with 5.
Yeah, and like I'd say, like just the way that you orient yourself and the way that you present your props will have some effect on how the judges perceive you. So when it comes to Houston and having that in person judging, what are you guys going to do anything different or have any new props for it?
I don't know. We
Well,
discuss
yeah.
it.
No, go, Tess.
We haven't really discussed that topic yet because our robot has some technical difficulties at this point. So Sander is mostly trying to fix that. But I think at the Worlds we are gonna. I don't know. I think we are gonna do it different than here in the Netherlands, but I'm not sure how.
We have to see. We have to see things, experience things, and then discuss what we're gonna
Yeah.
tell. Because
Yeah, I
America is
saw.
a whole different country of what we are. We are this. So we are doing things differently than they are doing in America. So I think it's smart to just first look around, go to security, see everything, and then on base of that, do the jury session. So you taste a little bit of the environment of Europe, America.
I saw also a lot of teams use like that's especially useful when you have a bigger team, but holding boards or things is, with the presentation. So I don't know how useful it is. I don't know if you guys use that, but maybe we could do something like that.
For us, when we did our virtual judging, we had like one board with like our key goals that we would kind of talk about, and then like show the judges goal 1, goal 2, goal 3, like at the beginning and at the end. So that way the judges like make sure to like are able to see our goals from the beginning and from the end of our presentation.
And are they different or the same goals?
Same goals.
So you're gonna tell about. So you tell your presentation. You first tell about your goals, and then that plate is standing there the whole presentation, so they can always read it back.
So it's like in the beginning, we like list our 3 goals, and then within our presentation, we like further go in depth on how we accomplish those goals, and then at the end, we mention them again, so that way, like the judges are able to see it and hear it right?
And then,
So the goals are about the team, not your personal goals.
So yeah, there are team goals.
yeah, because we all have 1 minute to speak, we are also doing our personal goals throughout the season, and we are going to tell how we develop ourselves and in which.
Yeah, because we're such a small team. Of course, when you have a team of 12 or even a bigger team, it's impossible to have everyone a word and actually talk about their goals. But because we're a small team, that's possible. But so you guys mostly just talk about your team goals and stuff. That's nice.
Yeah, I feel like the way our team formats it is based off those three goals that we set. That way, the judges know what we are talking about, and when we go in depth with it, they can follow it. So, does your team have a similar structure, or is it that you guys just start talking about that one, or do you guys just say that 1 minute of each person?
Yeah,
We try to have structure, so we prepare what she said the night before. So then you have in your head the points you wanna tell about, and you can also just say the point, and then say another point and go deeper on that one. You not always have to explain everything because then you are per person 5 minutes further, and that's not possible. So we try to do the night before some practicing with also the introducing part because if we forget it, that costs us more time. So we try to practice 2 or 3 times. I practice with Tess. Also, we sleep most of the nights in the same room.
yeah,
So we also try to practice
together.
together also another time. And then if we need to write something like a half hour or something, we do it just one time more in the bus or in the car, and then we just let it sink in, let it rest, and then do the security, build things up, control things, and then the real judging session. So that goes like every league meet, Kaiserslautern, every time. So we build something like structure, but sometimes it also depends on who starts. That's not also the same, but we try to do it as most as possible, but not only talk about that, but also the robot, or what we need to do, or just a little to-do list.
Yeah, like
Like,
I'd say having like a list of what you want to talk about will really, just format everything as in the best way you can. And that way, like when it comes time for your presentation, like you can sort of like check off, oh, I did this, I did this. So that way it's
Yeah, exactly. So what
Everyone
if
has
we?
his little to-do list, what he can sell or he can practice on. So for me, it's also the head sponsoring, just sponsoring, and my personal goal. Now that are three, and I only have 1 minute. So then you have to think what's important, what's not important. So the not important parts you just step on, you just tell, and then the important parts you go tell about more.
Yeah, and well, it's important, especially like in Kaiserslautern, where we won the Inspire Award. There were a lot of inexperienced judges, but even with experienced judges, it's important that they from their sheet that we also get as a feedback sheet, they can just tick off the boxes. Like they did this well, they were prepared for the judging session, everything. It's important that they can tick that off because that's it's like getting points and that they know, okay, this team did well. So we are trying to study that, especially as I said, with inexperienced judges. They don't know a lot what they can ask as much as people who are doing it for much longer. So they just especially follow that sheet. So
So
that's a good way. That's a great guideline.
take Kaiserslautern. We had a judging session with non-experienced judges. So then I changed my little to-do list, because my thing that I'm proud of is then less important than what I do for the team, because they're following what he said, the paper that we give. And if we are telling about our personal goals, that's not standing on the paper. So in if I see it in their eyes, that's not necessary. So then I'm talking about head sponsoring, uh, just sponsoring what I do for the team, because that's more important, because that is standing on the paper. So it also depends on which judge you have.
I'm also curious about one thing because I don't know how that is at Worlds or at States or something like when the two championships that we had at the Benelux that we had. Um, our notebook. We delivered our notebook after our judging session, and at Kaiserslautern we gave it at the beginning of the day. And then when we had our judging session, our judges had already read through our whole notebook, our whole portfolio. In that way, in Kaiserslautern, especially about the robot, we could shorten it and make it more bullet points that we tick off instead of going more in depth because they've already read through it. I don't know how that is in America. Do you have to deliver the notebook at the beginning of the day, or is that after the judging session?
So
So
what they would typically do is like before the competition even happens, they'll have like a submission day to submit your portfolio online so they can read through it right before you're
Oh, okay.
in and everything.
But
Yeah.
you don't deliver it in paper.
I think
Not
we
that I'm
did have to give
do
it
as
in.
well. I'm not too sure.
I think we also like when like for team check-in for I think our state competition, uh, you had to when you're doing your team check-in, you also had to give a copy of your engineering portfolio. I think that's probably how it's gonna work on Worlds. Besides like the online submission, as Hannah was saying, but that way
Okay.
the judges have a hard and an online copy of your notebook or of your portfolio.
You have it. You need to have it online and on paper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
On top of that, there are also a lot of online submissions for things like the control award and everything. We did have to for both of the championships. We did have to deliver an in-person sheet for the control award, but also about other awards that are not handed out at our championships. What are those awards? And I think the Compass Award is one. I've never heard about that one. Uh, and the uh, do you guys do online submissions, because we've never done that?
So
Yes.
for Compass and Promote, right? Those are online. Those are online submissions. Before, I'm not sure what day it is. Mohol, do you know?
Yeah, so normally the day that you have to turn in your portfolio online, you also have to turn in your Compass and Promote video online. And I know for the Control Award at least, you submit your document that you filled out for the Control Award online as well. I do not know if we have to give the Control Award in on paper as well. But that yeah, like I think the online having it online allows the judges to see it in a very flexible manner.
I would say just in case have it, but
Yeah.
not too sure now.
And so, what are the Promote Award and the Compass Award about?
So Promote is they'll give you a prompt and then they'll about first. So then you have to make a 1 minute video based on that. And then Compass is you nominate a person who's been first in your community, and then you talk for a minute about their accomplishments, what they've done, etc.
Okay.
So I have a question for the media. Is it okay if I take a screenshot and I post it on the social media?
Yeah, that's fine.
Fun.
So, 3, 2, 1. Yes.
Right.
I'm back you.
Yeah, like I think as you're saying, like especially for all the submissions, it's just really important to turn it on time and because in that way you're not getting in trouble for anything and everything goes smoothly. I had one more question for your team. if there was any advice that you would give a rookie team or any team about judging and the presentation, what would it be and why?
I
Um,
yourself try
be
to
yourself and talk to persons. It not only have to be in a team, but go to other teams. Talk about what they experience for judging. If it breaks your nerves or it's scary, or because I'm scared to talk English. So at the beginning of first, and now it's really just an extra hobby for me to talk English. So just ask, go around, be yourself, what she said, and ask your team who also done judges sessions what they can expect, and let the rookies talk about the thing that they're most passionate about in the team, so that they can talk about their own passion, that they not have to tell about something else in the team what they are not doing, but they have to tell that. Let them do their own piece, their own time to tell about and learn from that judge session. Yeah, it's the world. I know it's scary, but let them learn one judge session what they can expect, and how that sometimes it's scary. I get that, but let them take their time and learn. Just learn.
Yeah, I would also recommend for rookie teams at the judging session itself and also in their portfolio. Don't talk too much about the robot. I know the robot is very fun. Uh, I'm a robot lover myself, but it's important to not. Of course, the robot is important, and but don't talk too much about the. Don't focus your full presentation on your robot because you're missing a full aspect of first. That is outreach, growth, and sponsoring and everything on top of that.
Yeah, like I would say like it's you're not like as Dean Cameron has said that it's first is more than just robot, you know. It's about all the other things how first helps you grow. So I was saying that way as you're saying, it's really important to talk about your outreach, your sustainability, you know, everything else that first has helped you with. So in that manner, you know, the judges can see how your team has grown as a whole, not just as your team's robot has grown throughout the season.
Mhm.
And
Exactly, because
if you're
first is not made to build a robot. First is made um,
learn,
to prepare people for or develop people into a STEM career, and that's not only the technical aspects. That's also just the whole thing in general.
one thing I want to say is if you're a rookie and you're scared to ask what I had, what Lars had, you're scared to failure. Um, just tell one person you're really close with. For me, it's Dash. Um, tell that to that person, and if you uh, in your head want to let the team know, but you're scared to do it, let that person do it so the team knows it, but that they can teach you for that failure is good. You can learn from it, and that asking is not a disaster, but you also can learn from it, so that the team knows it. So if you are taking time for yourself in the library, or you're just gone, that they know why you're gone, and not that just that you disappeared.
Yeah,
I think an important part, especially, is talk about your experience, especially if you're a rookie member. Talk about how you started and where you are right now and what you've learned. Because, as everyone has mentioned already, first is honestly a wonderful experience and a wonderful place to be.
I
well,
That
agree.
are
Well said.
yeah. Do you guys? I think Tassin, you were trying to say something.
cool.
I think you were trying to say something.
I said that were very beautiful words.
Well, thank you guys so much for joining us today. It was really wonderful for having you all.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
Thank
Of course,
you.
nice experience.
Yes.
All right, we can't wait to see you at Houston. Bye, guys.
Bye.
He's
Thank you.
Additionally,
Bye.
if there's anything else, oh, that's fine. If